Hello and welcome to Practically Speaking Houston. This is the official podcast for the PRSA Houston chapter, and we are excited because we get to connect our members and find out all the awesome things that are happening in our own community, which is really phenomenal. So today I have a fantastic guest. We've had her on before, but we're going to talk a little bit about PRSA, the value it brings, and how it dovetails into the awesome work that's happening in the nonprofit space today. But before we get started, I want to make sure we take care of some housekeeping. Make sure you hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episode of Practically Speaking Houston. And if you are watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, drop us some comments because we'd love to connect. So let's go ahead and get this episode started. Hello, good morning, Felicia. How are you?
Hello, Veronica. I'm good. How are you doing?
So excited about our conversation today. I always love talking to you. You get me so excited. You get me so pumped up because you are in the work, girl, doing it.
Well, so are you, I think a lot of people don't realize just how much that you do as well, especially in the education space. So thank you so much for volunteering your time to be on the host of this podcast for going on now at 3 years.
3 years. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Almost four. Yeah. Almost four. Yeah.
4 years.
So 4 years. Wow. That went by fast.
Yes.
That's fantastic. No, thank you for giving me a shout out. I appreciate that. It was actually your brainchild. And here we are having really meaningful conversations for our members and connecting them, especially when they can't join us. So all thanks to you.
And I love the Bree brand. It is awesome.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a great fit. And so many of our members also participate in other communication professional organizations. So it was a really good fit. And I tell people all the time, it's just part of the evolution. Communicators have to evolve and we have to adjust to changing markets and changing times. So it was a good fit for the organization. I'm thrilled.
Me too. Well, hey, let's jump in it. What would you like to talk about today?
Let's talk about, first of all, you've won a lot of awards here lately. And when we look at the work that you're doing as a professional, we start to see some themes. And one of the themes is supporting nonprofits and making sure that their story, especially in our market, is getting told, which is challenging with budget. So talk to us a little bit about what's happening in the nonprofit space and how earned media and pitching still is so relevant to the work that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you just a little bit. I know a lot of people through PRSA, but for those who don't know me, I would love to get to know you. My name is Felicia Perez. I own FAR Public Relations. And so it'll be 5 years this August.
Wow.
5 years. I was the 2022 president of PRSA Houston. I've been on the board for several years. Right now I'm the APR chair. And I'm also Assembly Delegate. So Assembly Delegate, what that means is essentially we represent the Houston chapter on the national stage of PRSA. And so a lot of the rules and the ethics and everything that goes through that as well. APR, as far as APR chair goes, that's accreditation in public relations. And so I can definitely demystify that a little bit today too. But a bit of my background as well, I come from a media side of things. So 15 years in broadcast journalism, as you know.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a boutique agency. I worked for an international agency before starting my own. I got my master's at UH. Go Cougs!
Yeah.
And I really want to say the reason why I started my business was to be able to work for and with mission-driven organizations.
Yeah.
Ones that have purpose in the community. That's one of the reasons why I moved from media to PR, is because I really enjoy helping the communities tell their story. And that I think is so incredibly important. And so whenever we talk about nonprofit space, and I do work with a lot of nonprofits, I also work with businesses who have a real big stake in the community as well. So healthcare side of things, as well as some energy and even law. So it runs the gamut. But I do work with some nonprofits, and work that I do with them is so meaningful to me because they are making a huge dent in a lot of the situations that a lot of the challenges that our community faces. So I do love being able to support their mission. Now, one thing I always say is, but there's 40,000 nonprofits in the greater Houston area. It's quite a bit.
A lot. Yeah.
And so I say that to be like, I think when it comes to nonprofits, you're in a bubble, right? A lot of times you're in a bubble, and you know your mission is meaningful, but so is the mission of all the other nonprofits too. So how do you tell your story effectively? That's what I like to focus on, for sure.
Yeah. And I think too, just quantifying that number helps you realize how much noise there is. And all of us who spend our time pitching media, we know this. There's fewer reporters, fewer producers, fewer editors. All of those resources on that end are dwindling, but our story opportunities are increasing. So when you have that many nonprofits vying for a little bit of space, it's that creativity and the pitch. What are some of the challenges that you've seen in this, maybe in working with some of your clients who have had maybe grants that are drying up, or donors who haven't come back because, any number of reasons? What are some of the things you're helping them do to craft that pitch and land it? Because your clients are winning awards, or you're winning them on their behalf because their story is being told and their story is being heard.
Yes. And you are so right on the media landscape shrinking. It really is. You hear about these going out of business. You also hear about all the moving and shaking going on in media, where just your media list constantly has to be updated. And the relationships you build with media is really the big difference that you find between the thousands of emails they receive every day, thousands every day, not just, and then that's not like a abstract, that's literally thousands of emails a day that they receive, of pitches, of press releases, of things going on, not only just in Houston, but nationally, internationally, right? And so you have to kind of cut through the noise. And how do you do that is really building relationships and leveraging those relationships with media to know what they care about. Right. And so media has a responsibility as well of informing the public.
Yeah.
And so if you find that newsworthy hook of 3 or 4 newsworthy angles with your story, it's going to land better with the audience. And so really just about why not just a select few people, but why should the entire community care? Right. And so and that's really building on not just, for example, the newsworthy element of proximity, proximity being Houston, but also emotional proximity. So getting those stories of, building those stories, the archive for you to be able to share, some heartwarming moments, or some sort of moment in time where somebody, not just the head of the organization, not just the executive director of the nonprofit, but somebody who's helping or being helped. And that's so incredibly important, is the storytelling aspect of that.
Yeah. And it's that connection. And you mentioned it a couple of different times, relationships with the reporters, being able to create that human connection, because we all need it. And quite honestly, I think that's probably what makes you so successful in your space. Statistically, if you can get to that 5-year mark with a business, you're good. Like you've done it. And you're there, Felicia, like you are there, which is awesome. I love that. And I think you summarized it earlier when we were chatting about relationships. And so share with our members what PRSA has done for you in that space, because I think you're probably one of the more articulate people who have been able to demonstrate why professional relationships in the community you serve matter to you career-wise.
Veronica, it's PRSA has been just the foundation for any success that I attribute just majority of my success to PRSA, the educational components, the people that we meet, just the professional development of it all. I honestly, even whenever I was getting my master's at UH, I received a scholarship from PRSA Houston and the foundation to help me achieve that. But also, we were looking at my business now, and 99% of my business that of the clients I have, the partnerships I've made have been through referral. And
Wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. And so there's definitely some business models where they rely heavily on like Google searches, SEO, AEO, but really, I'm not sending out dozens of proposals every week of things that may or may not land. These are relationships that have been built, and referrals are authentic. So it really helps to build the trust. And that's what we deal with all the time in PR is the trust. So it's been really meaningful to be a part of PRSA. And I would highly recommend anyone who is in the communication field, that's any sort of creative team.
Right.
And that from even video and photography to marketing. I mean, there are a lot of organizations, and I'm actually part of many of them in Houston. At IABC, I'm on the board there as well. Got to give a little shout out to.
Yeah.
And AMA, I'm a part of that organization as well. And so, those. The HBMA is also another good one. I can't leave that out. There's a lot of different organizations here that provide a community.
Yeah.
So it's finding that village that can support you. And honestly, I've felt welcomed and accepted in each one of these organizations. And I think that's also kind of unique to Houston.
It is.
So I'm hearing that as well, where, but Houston has been welcoming ever since I moved here 15 years ago. So I will say it is, it's a special kind of city.
Yeah, no, I agree. And having been a member of PRSA for years and years in different markets, I would say our chapter is probably the most inclusive, the most welcoming, the most proactive, and our events are well thought out. All of our board members have been hyper focused on making sure that everyone has an opportunity to take advantage in a way that works for them, whether it's virtual or in person or one part of town versus the other. And I think that really speaks to the leadership we have in the organization. But I think it's also a huge nod to just Houston in general. Yeah.
And I will say, I mean, if I was to really sum it up, I mean, PRSA has really given me a professional home. It's really helped me stay connected, stay accountable. I mean, really, and just keep growing, especially as an independent practitioner. And I mean, even the awards programs, I'm able to reflect on everything that, it was been done the previous year. I'm able to provide my clients a platform to celebrate what they're doing as well. And as we're doing the partnership together, it's really, it's something that I know I'm always going to be a part of. So it's a good feeling.
You're a phenomenal ambassador for our chapter, which I love. And you get to serve, and you get to serve in a lot of different ways. So as we think about, as members think about what is next for them in their career, obviously PRSA has a lot of opportunities, whether you're going to conferences or tuning in to different webinars that we have available. But let's talk a little bit about APR. We've had a couple guests talk about the importance of APR, and it's not necessarily for everybody. We all acknowledge that, but for those people who feel like this might be what's next for them, talk about that and maybe share a little bit about your journey and anything that you think someone should really consider when they think about that for themselves.
Yeah. So I will say personally, I believe giving back is a professional responsibility. And so with APR, it really leads right into mentorship and service as well. And also ethics. And I think that is such a core principle of PR, of what we're trying to provide for our clients. Whenever you see APR, not a lot of people know what that is, but whenever you realize just how much goes into the accreditation of public relations, it gives a little bit of that extra credibility and trust factor, especially, and I've seen it too, for those new clients who don't know what the APR stands for, don't know what that is. And I tell them and they're like, oh, wow. That's really great. That's good to know. And for nonprofit partners out there, if you see someone with an APR behind their name, you know that they know what they're doing, and they're going to do it ethically, and they're going to do it responsibly for you. That is part of the APR. You have to renew it every few years. And so I want to demystify it a little bit, because this is one of the reasons why I joined as a chair of that as well. For anyone looking to to earn their APR. It is a process. It usually takes about a year. With me, it took a little bit longer. And so I had an extended leave for a little bit. Well, I mean, yeah, I joined motherhood and was president of PRSA at the same time. Started my business around the same time. So I was like all of those things. So yeah, but it's a journey. It's a personal journey. So however long it takes you, but don't apply for it until you're ready to get started. And so I will say that.
Advice. Yeah.
And so if you're ready to buckle down, if you've got, the time to study, if you have that's essentially that real estate in your life to be able to do that. And so it's a 3-step process. And so you have to have completed a campaign with you as the lead, a PR campaign of some sorts, and be able to defend that and explain that. And that is one thing, just make sure that you have that before you even apply. You do have to apply to the Universal Accreditation Board. They have to approve you. You have to have the letters of recommendation. And then your first step is really gathering the materials, getting study guide, but also filling out your questionnaire. Your questionnaire is one of the, it takes a while. This can't be done overnight. Believe me, I've tried. It takes a while to do. I'm a procrastinator. It's one of those things where it makes me do some of my best work. The creative process in the brain. But you do have to take a while to fill out the questionnaire. It's pretty. It can be up to like 20 pages, I think, or 25. I've seen some.
Yeah, it's pretty robust.
30 pages. But you are explaining every single step of the process and what you're doing. And then you contact your APR chair. And you do have to be a member of PRSA Houston and in good standing. And then we'll schedule a panel presentation of your peers. It's very, it's nothing to be nervous about. It's something that's very welcoming. It's not judgmental. It's really discussing the process and what you did with the campaign, and making sure that you understand the KPIs. You understand like what the whole process is through APR and your public relations strategy. And then after that, you have a written examination or a multiple choice examination through Proctor. So it is a process.
Yeah, it's not just something you can like do online and click and add it to your account. No, it is a process. I love how intentional it is because it validates, to your point earlier, how much work and effort and expertise goes into the accreditation. It's just not something you can pay a fee for and add to the back of your name.
100%. And then every 3 years you renew it, which means during that 3 years, I'm teaching at the University of Houston. That goes toward my points, right? Anytime I speak, and whenever I talk to PRSA students, that goes toward points to it as well. It encourages you to give back through the profession.
Yeah, which is part of which naturally ties back into our first conversation, which was we have such a strong network, and the more you give back, the more you're connected. Those personal relationships have been built. You're finding business opportunities, collaborations, areas of expertise. You're sharing yours, they're sharing theirs. And it really just naturally feeds itself. And I think you said something earlier too. I think that was really important. And that's the idea of mentorship. And share with me a little bit about how you think PRSA has helped you, or you've seen it help others in our profession with our chapter specifically.
I've seen it straight from the students all the way to those who are fellows in the profession, or even those who are retired. The way that we connect, we have a meeting every November of Sages and Seekers. That is just dedicated to connecting young professionals, students, those newer in the field, with those who are experienced, 30 plus years of experience in the field, and connecting those to share that knowledge and advice and expertise. At this stage in my career, I will say it's exciting because I care a lot about the work that matters. So the relationships that matter, and helping the profession get stronger. And I think that a lot of those who've been in the field for a long time as well, that's what they care about as well too. It means nothing if you can't pass along the knowledge and give back,
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up really nicely, because I think you're right. We go through these different phases of our career. And when you get to the point to where some of us are at, it's all about pouring into others, because that's what fills our buckets. And obviously, when you can make a business out of it, it's even better, because you spend morning, day and night doing the work, but it doesn't feel like work because it's so much fun.
And I love that too, because a lot of the connections I've made, I'm also partners with them, which being an independent practitioner has really helped me also be able to connect with other agencies, where I'm able to come in if their bucket is overflowing and they need an independent consultant to come in to help with media relations or community engagement, something of that nature. I'm able to be a part of their team as well. And the same thing with me. I'm also part of a Houston Marketing Alliance, where, with any of the clients that I work with, they don't just get a PR person. They also get a connection of website designers, SEO, marketing, AEO, the focus, a photographer, a videographer, an event organizer, a copywriter, all of those things. So we're able to essentially fit any need that they have. And so building those connections are so incredibly important. And I love working with all of my partners with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's like you get a whole team. Well, Felicia, this has been a great conversation. And if someone wants to connect with you for maybe APR questions or opportunities to bring you in to support their nonprofit or their business, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
So FAR Public Relations, I'm mostly on LinkedIn. So if you'd like to connect with me there, Felicia Perez, and I think that's most likely the best way. But if you can also email me, emailing me is great. It's Felicia, Felicia, at farpublicrelations with an S.com.
Yes.
And and to be able, please do connect. Even if it's just if we want to chat over coffee, I'm always a sucker for coffee. So
I love it. Yeah, no, as am I. So yes. Definitely. So we will make sure that Felicia's contact information, her LinkedIn and her email are in the show notes. Guys, if you are looking to connect with someone, Felicia is someone who will give you some great advice, guidance, introduce you to people, and just kind of give you the lay of the land here in Houston, especially if you're new to the market. So Felicia, thank you for all you do for our members. And for me personally, I love the energy you bring, and it always inspires me to think outside the box. So I appreciate you greatly.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. You bet. All right, everybody, connect with Felicia. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a great episode. So much to think about. If you are considering a change in the communication space, check us out. Connect with the members. That's what it's all about. At Practically Speaking Houston, we want to make sure all of our members in the communication space in Houston know where to go to connect with others. So with that, we're wrapping up this episode. Make sure you hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episodes of Practically Speaking Houston. If you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, drop us some comments because we love to connect. We'll see you next time.